Hi guys, we meet again. As I said before in my previous video, my name is Juli Situmorang. I am a master student at SBM ITB, co-working with PLN. Right now, I want to share my thought on an interesting topic with the title of Informational Asymmetry in the Electric Vehicle Market in Indonesia. This is part of consumer preferences and market behavior from our subject microeconomics. As I said before, in this video I will share about informational asymmetry in the electric vehicle market in Indonesia. What I am to share in this video are first background of the development of the electric vehicle market in Indonesia, and the second one is the role of EVs in the energy transition and decarbonization. The third one, the importance of information in the EV market. The fourth, the problem of asymmetric information and its impact. And the last one, objectives and significance of the study. For the introduction, the first full-size electric vehicle emerged around 1832 and was created by a Scottish inventor named Robert Anderson. While it would not be considered as a car by today's standard, Anderson's electric power carriage, that is powered by non-rechargeable power cells, represented a significant departure from the horse-drawn carriage of the area. And what is the background on the development of the electric vehicle market in Indonesia? Development in electric vehicles in Indonesia began in 2012 during the administration of the sixth president Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono. At that time, a young engineer named Ricky Elson initiated the development of an electric car made in Indonesia. Ricky Elson successfully built the vehicles and showcased them at the 2012 APEC Summit in Bali. The cars named Selo and Tukusi represented early milestones in Indonesia's electric vehicles innovations effort. Now we will talk about the role of the EVs in the energy transition and decarbonization. EVs are essential for Indonesia's energy transition and decarbonization effort. EV development has been formally included in the 2025 and 2034 Electricity Supply Business Plan, or we call it RUPTL. The following outlines the role of EVs in supporting the energy transition and decarbonization process are, first, EVs could reduce the carbon emissions. The second one, it drives the energy system electrification. Third one, it can support the sustainable energy transition. The fourth, opening economic opportunities. And the last one, it can increasing the energy resilience. So why the importance of information in the EV market? The information plays a crucial role in the EV market by helping consumers make informed decisions, encouraging industry growth, and ensuring the sustainability of the EV ecosystem. Accurate and easily accessible information on various aspects of EVs, such as performance, ownership costs, and charging infrastructure, is essential for mass adoption. The following are several reasons why information is critically important in the EV market. First one, influencing consumer decisions. It will get better understanding, accurate comparison, and addressing concerns. The second one, pushing industry growth. It can be by marketing, product development, smart investment. And the third one, ensuring sustainability ecosystem by better network integration, more efficient battery management, and development of appropriate policies. Now we'll talk about the problem of information asymmetric and its impact. Information asymmetry is a situation in which one party in a transaction process possess more and better information than the other party. This can lead to problems such as adverse selection, moral hazard, and market failure. The impacts may include inefficient resource allocation, unfair pricing, and a loss of confidence in the market. Now, so what is the purpose and significance of the study? The purpose of studying information asymmetry in Indonesia's electric vehicle market is to understand how imbalances of information between transacting and interacting parties influence outcomes and behavior. This understanding is crucial for identifying potential problems such as market failure, moral hazard, and adverse selection, as well as designing effective solutions to mitigate their negative impact. In the second part, I will share about the theoretical framework and literature review. And in this second part, there will be information asymmetry concept, implementation framework in the electric vehicle market, and related empirical literature information asymmetry in the EV market. So, is there any information asymmetry concept? Yes, there is. The definition is according to Akerlof, market for lemons, which is consists of information asymmetry. There is an imbalance of information between the seller and the buyer. Sellers usually know more about the quality of the goods than the buyers do. The second one, there's a definition about market failure. It is information asymmetry can cause the market to function inefficiently. Buyers are unable to distinguish between high quality and low quality goods, making them reluctant to pay a fair price for high quality products. The third definition is about adverse selection. This adverse selection is sellers of low quality goods are more likely to sell their products, while sellers of high quality goods may withdraw from the market due to prices that do not reflect the true value of their products. And the last, as a result, the market can become dominated by low quality goods such as lemons, and the market itself may collapse as buyers lose confidence and are unwilling to purchase prices that do not reflect actual quality. Now we move to the type of information asymmetrical. First, the adverse selection. Adverse selection occurs when one party in a transaction possesses better information than the other party, and that information is hidden or used to their advantage. Second one, moral hazard. Moral hazard arises after a transaction has taken place, when one party may act irresponsibly or take an excessive risk because they know that the other party will bear the consequences of their actions. The role of information in market efficiency includes price reflects information, allocation resource, reduce profit opportunity, and the last one, equal access to information. Now we move still in this second part about the implementation framework in the electric vehicle market. First, about the producer versus consumers, there will be imbalanced knowledge. This creates problems in the market because consumers may not have sufficient information about the products or services offered by the manufacturers. Second one, lack of information technical about the battery, the life cycle, and the charging. This can make it difficult for users to understand how to properly operate and maintain them. And the third framework, asymmetry in the secondary market, is about resale value and the battery condition. Information asymmetry often occurs in the use of EV market, where buyers may not have access to accurate data on battery health or the vehicle history. And the final part on this second session, we will talk about the related empirical literature information asymmetry in the EV market. we will show the global studies in China, America, and Europe. More than 20% of all new cars sold globally were electric, with electric vehicle sales reaching over 17 million units, an increase of more than 25% compared to 2023. Notably, the additional 3.5 million of EV sold in 2024 alone exceeded total global electric car sales for the entire of 2020. While global momentum remains strong, growth in Europe stagnant due to the phase-out or reduction of subsidies in key markets and the unchanged European Union carbon dioxide targets for cars between 2023 and 2024. In the United States, electrical sales continue to rise, although the growth rate was only about one quarter of that seen in the previous year. Outside these three largest EV markets, China, Europe, and US, sales surged by nearly 40%, reaching 1.3 million units, closing in on the US total of 1.6 million electric cars sold. Now we will move to the third part of this knowledge sharing about EV market situation in Indonesia. I will share about government policy and regulations, market conditions and infrastructure, and public literacy and access to information. In this first part of the third chapter, I will share about the government policy and regulations. Electric vehicle regulation in Indonesia covers various aspects ranging from technical and safety standards to incentives and policies related to the use of battery electric vehicles. These regulations aim to encourage the adoption of both for public transportation and private use, while also supporting the development of the domestic electric vehicle industry. There is two policy by the government. First, the Presidential Regulation number 55 2019 on the acceleration of battery electric vehicles and subsidies and incentives, fiscal and non-fiscal. We would like to share you, this is the industry roadmap for 2020 to 2040 in Indonesia. There is a preparation phase in 2020 to 2024. Such as strengthening the regulation related to the electric vehicles, then the provision for of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives, and then the growth phase in 2025 to 2030. This phase there will be mass production of electric cars and motorcycle by domestic industries, addition of 10,000 SPKLU units across Indonesia. And the last phase is established and dominant phase 2031 to 2040. In this phase, there will be a fully developed electric vehicle ecosystem, and EVs will become the primary choice for the customers. These figures show about the market condition and infrastructure of electric vehicles in Indonesia. As we see, the electric vehicle comparison with the charging unit, we call it SPKLU, decrease from 17 compared to 1, and in 2030 the comparison will be 15 compared to 1. As we see, the number of the electric vehicle increase, but it will follow by the increase of the charging unit of SPKLU. From the statistic of EVs and hybrid sales from Gaikindo and BPS, sales of electric vehicles and hybrid cars in Indonesia continue to show an upward trend, although their contribution to total car sales remains relatively small. According to data from Gaikindo, hybrid car sales continue to dominate compared to full EVs, especially in the first half of 2025. However, EV sales have also experienced significant growth, particularly in specific models that have gained strong market interest. Also from the Gaikindo and BPS data shown that this is 10 brand of EVs that dominate in Indonesia. That is BYD, Denza, Wuling, Chery, Ion, Geely, Hyundai, MG, 896 Net, and Citroen. But there are also many of electric charging unit spread around Indonesia. Also in this third chapter, we will talk about public literacy level and information access. First, the customer survey. The PwC Indonesia state that although the pull factors for electric vehicles are increasing, consumers' concern may significantly influence the level of adoption, EV adoption. Understanding of the total cost of ownership of EVs remains varied among Indonesian customers. While some are aware of the long-term savings, thanks to lower operational and maintenance costs, others remain focused on the high initial purchase price. Studies indicate that the TCO of electric vehicles can be lower in the long run, especially when considering fuel savings and reduced maintenance needs. However, the higher upfront cost of EVs often remains a key barrier to wider adoption. In this data, we see that more or many of the consumers will likely buy an electric car in the future. And in the second data, we see that where will the consumers obtain information about EVs? The much consumers state that they know the information about EVs from automotive websites, social media, and video streaming sites. And we will see in this data about how the customers will want to buy electric car or motorcycle as their first vehicle. And if they already own a vehicle, would they consider replacing it with an electric one or purchasing an additional electric vehicle? The data shown that most of the consumers want car as their EV additional vehicle rather than the as replacement. And also it's also same with the motorcycles. And if the customers state previously that they are not considering buy an electric car or motorcycle, what are the barriers that refrain them from buying electric vehicles? Most of the customers said that they don't know about the charging stations. They said that the charging stations are difficult to find or to access, and the charging station is not available in remote places, and also about the battery charging takes a long time. So these three main reasons why some customers that didn't want to buy an electric vehicle. So in the market, electric vehicle market in Indonesia, there are roles of dealers, then media and EV community in EV growth. The dealer, as the selling party, often possess more knowledge about the products that they offer, and the information asymmetry allows the dealers to exploit buyers by hiding defects or providing misleading information. And also the dealer can roll buyers' needs to verify the information provided by the dealer and seek additional information in order to make informed decisions. How about the media? What is the role of the media in EV growth? Media, accurate and balanced information dissemination. The media has the potential to disseminate accurate and balanced information, which can help public more informed and responsible decision. And also the media can give public education and promoting accountably. And the EV community can play an active role in promoting transparency, sharing information, and building trust, which ultimately helps reduce the negative impacts of information asymmetry. The EV community can increase transparency and access to information, building trust and networking, and empowering members. And now we will turn to the fourth chapter, which is analysis problems, information asymmetry issues in the Indonesian EV market. In this chapter, we will talk about gap information between producer and consumers, lack of standardization and certification, adverse selection and moral hazard, and the impact in the EV market. What is the gap information between producers and consumers? 2023 study by LPM FBF Fakultas Ekonomi UI shows that 7 out of 10 respondents are hesitant to purchase an electric car due to uncertainty about its resale value within 5 years. This has become one of the main barriers to widespread EV adoption among the general public. Furthermore, the lack of transparent information regarding EV technical aspects, such as battery degradation and resale value, also contributes to consumer hesitation. And the second part is lack of standardization and certification. Currently, Indonesia doesn't have specific national standard that governs battery ratings for electric vehicles. Although several Indonesia national standard or SNE exist, there is no dedicated and comprehensive regulation that defines a standardized battery rating system. And there is also adverse selection and moral hazard. Consumers find it difficult to distinguish between high and low quality of EVs, and the dealers can hide battery information about the battery. This is the adverse selection and moral hazard that occurs in the EV market in Indonesia. What is the impact? First, the low level trust. There will be lack of secondary EV market, and this will become the obstacle to adoption mass. Now we move to the fifth chapter. Or we will talk about the reduction strategy of this asymmetry information. First, we will talk about implementation of signaling and screening, and then the role of government and public institution, the innovation from the private sector and the community, and implementation of digital technology. The first strategy is implementation of signaling and screening. Two mechanisms main use for reduce asymmetry informations are the first, signaling. This is actions taken by more informed party, usually manufacturers, to convey credible and verifiable information to the less informed party. And the second one is screening. These are efforts by the less informed party, which is the consumers or the government, to obtain hidden or incomplete information from the more informed party. The area usually about the battery, product origin, prices and incentives, infrastructure, and carbon footprint. So the manufacturer will conduct the signaling, and the government or consumer will conduct the screening. So there will be balance between the manufacturer as the more informed party and the consumers as the less informed party. Now, what is the role of the government and public institution? These government and public institutions will provide standardized neutral information and secondary market regulation and consumer protection. For the standardized and neutral information, the government must creating a national EV database and publication vehicle test results, and also give the national SPKLU or charging unit platform. And for the secondary market regulation and consumer protection, the government must make rules for buying and selling used electric vehicles. And then consumer protection from misleading marketing, such as supervision, and use EV incentives. So the use EV incentives can be done with tax reduction for certified use electric vehicles. Third part of this fifth chapter, the strategy to reduce the information asymmetry. There is innovation from the private sector and the community. EV user communities as educational platforms. So the community EV Owners Club will contribute by sharing first-hand experiences related to vehicle performance, maintenance costs, and technical issues across the different regions. The community also will conduct the online discussion forums and also collective action for transparency. And the application for EV initiative, first the EV marketplace. This EV marketplace will provide EV listing with technical specification, battery health estimates, and price depreciation prediction. The second initiative is battery analytics application. Startup like Electrum have begun developing battery monitoring system using IoT and AI technologies for their electric vehicle operations. And the third initiative for the EV, it is review and comparison platforms. This initiative implemented by automotive media outlets featuring dedicated EV reviews, including real-world driving range, operational costs, and user feedback. So this is the strategy to reduce the information asymmetry by innovation from the private sector and the community. And the final strategy is the implementation of digital technology. Digital technology is becoming a strategic solution to overcome this problem, enabling information transparency, data-driven education, and openness between producers, consumers, and EV service providers. The forms of digital technology that can be applied: first, the Internet of Things or IoT and vehicle sensors, blockchain for transparent vehicle history, mobile applications and digital dashboards, AI and big data for education and prediction, and also digital infrastructure. We now go to the sixth chapter. We will see the international, how the foreign country, the condition of foreign country. We will do the international comparative study in China as the transparency and tiered subsidy platform. In Norway, they conduct the structured transparency in pricing and resale system, and in the US, they strong at the EPA certification and use EV marketplace. In China, we learn about transparency and tiered subsidy platform. China is the country with the highest electric vehicle adoption in the world. Its success cannot be separated from a proactive government strategy in addressing information asymmetry in the EV market. There are two main prominent approaches. First, open data platform by the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and their Qatar CATARC. This is the independent testing center. And the second one, the tiered subsidy scheme based on vehicle performance efficiency. The factor is the distance traveled per charge. There will be battery energy density, energy consumption efficiency, battery safety and testing, and also the distance traveled per charge or per kilometer. Now we go to the second country, the Norway. In Norway, there is a structured transparency in pricing and resale system. Norway is the country with the highest per capita electric vehicle penetration in the world. By 2024, more than 80% of new cars sold in Norway are fully electric vehicles. Norway's success is driven not only by fiscal incentives, but also by a highly transparent market structure and a well-organized resale system. What they do, first, price and ownership cost transparency. There are standardized consumer information platform and structured resale system, EV use car market. And the second one, tax and insurance data integration. And we go to the third country with the largest EV penetration in the world, that is USA. They implemented the EPA certification and use EV marketplace. United States is one of the largest EV markets in the world, supported by evolving policies from both federal and state levels. There are EPA labels, mandatory standards for all EVs in the USA. All electric vehicles sold in the United States are required to undergo standardized performance testing authorized by Environmental Protection Agency or EPA. This EPA certification for EVs will show the performance and emissions transparency. And the second one, the data-driven use electric vehicle marketplace. There are recurrent or EV battery health assessment and the integration with marketplace like Carvana and AutoTrader. These two policy from the United States that make United States is one of the largest electric vehicle markets in the world. We finally arrive at the conclusion and strategic implications. In this chapter, I will share about the summary of findings and then implication for producers and market players, and also closing for this share. So as the summary, the development of electric vehicles in Indonesia is experiencing acceleration, driven by supportive government regulations, increased domestic production, and both fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. Information asymmetry occurs when consumers lack sufficient access to critical technical and economic information about EVs, such as battery degradation rates, long-term ownership costs, resale value, and after-sale service availability. And what is the strategic implication for Indonesia? First, we need standardization of battery and EV performance information. The government, in collaboration with BSN and Ministry of Transportation, must develop national standards for reporting EV driving range, energy efficiency, and battery condition. This is similar to the EPA certification model in the US. The second one, Indonesia must develop an open data platform. This should present comparative information on total cost ownership, maintenance costs, fiscal incentives, and carbon footprints of EVs. The third, Indonesia must strengthen the secondary EV market. There must be fiscal incentives or public-private partnership to create a robust used EV market with credible resale and buyback mechanisms. And the fourth, education and public communication. Strategic campaigns are needed to inform the public about EV, battery degradation, and long-term operational costs. And the fifth, Indonesia must collaborate with the private sector and communities. The government should encourage partnership with data-driven startup, for example, battery diagnostics and the total cost of ownership calculators, and engage EV users communities to co-create and disseminate the reliable information. So this is the 5 strategic implications for Indonesia to build or increase the sale of the electric vehicle in Indonesia. And as closing, to build an inclusive and sustainable electric vehicle ecosystem, Indonesia must not only focus on supply side incentives and production, but also address the demand side challenge, especially by eliminating information asymmetry. When information becomes accessible, accurate, and transparent, consumer trust will grow, secondary markets will develop, and the transition to low-emission transportation will accelerate in a more equitable, efficient, and effective manner. So that is, guys, for my share today about informational asymmetry in the electric vehicle market Indonesia. We will see you in another topic. Goodbye.